This is Darren Colto with a tutorial for Blender, the free 3D modeling program. This lesson will show you how to create a model of a playing die using Blender's image texturing tools, especially those related to UV mapping. The term UV refers to a coordinate system that's basically the same as the two-dimensional XY coordinate system used in algebra and trigonometry. So let's get started. Open Blender, then right-click the default cube to select it. This cube will form the basic shape of the playing die. Press Tab to enter Edit Mode. Enter Face Select Mode by pressing Ctrl-Tab and then clicking Faces. Press U to open the UV context menu. Then click Smart UV Project to run a script that creates a UV layout for each side of the cube. Click OK to accept the default parameters of the script. Click the UV editing item from the Screen Layout drop-down list, which is in the header of the Info Editing window. Blender will open a window for editing the shapes and content of the UV faces. Click the New button on the UV window's header to begin creating a new image to hold the UV layout. Type My Dice Texture in the name text box of the pop-up window that appears. Click the color swatch, then click white from the color palette that appears. Click OK to create the new image. Click the Image menu's Image Painting checkbox to enable you to paint onto the UV faces. Then scroll down the sidebar on the left of the window until you see the color palette. Click black from the palette to load that color for painting the playing die's pits. If you later need to erase a pit, just click on the white color from this same palette and drag your mouse over the black paint. Drag the radius slider until it reads about 35 to set the brush diameter, then drag the strength slider to the right until it reads 1.0, the maximum amount. The strength control determines how much paint flows from the brush. Click the heading that shows Paint Curve to open the panel for setting the brush shape. Then click the button that looks like a staple from a desk stapler. This action gives your brush a hard edge. Your paintbrush is now ready to paint the pits on the playing die. Click the mouse in the center of the first UV face to paint the first face of the playing die. Paint the pits for the remaining faces of the die in the same way. Use the graphic shown here or a photo of a real playing die if you need help in painting the pits. After painting the pits, move your mouse to somewhere inside the 3D view window, then press Tab to exit Edit Mode and re-enter Object Mode. Click the Texture item from the Viewport Shading drop-down list in the header of the 3D view window. This action lets you see the pits you just painted on the UV faces projected onto the playing die. Open a window on the Properties editor by first dragging the upper right corner of the 3D view window downward and left. Click the leftmost button on the header of the duplicate 3D view, then click the Property item from the list of editing windows that appears. This opens up the Properties editor. Click the checkerboard icon on the header of the Properties editing window to open the context for creating and managing textures. Click Image in the Type drop-down list of the Texture Property pane. This tells Blender you want the texture to be based on an image as opposed to a procedural texture such as wood, noise, or clouds. Click the page icon to the left of the New button under the Image panel. This displays the item My Dice Texture, the name of the UV image layout you created earlier in the UV Editor window. Click that name to apply the pits you painted on the UV faces to your mesh of the playing die. Click the UV option in the coordinate drop-down list, which is under the mapping panel of the texture context. This critical step tells Blender that you want to apply the layout you designed in the UV Editor window to the cube object. If you leave the coordinate at its default value of generated, Blender will compute a new UV layout for the cube that's different from the layout you painted on earlier. You've now applied the pits you painted as a texture to the cube object. To prepare to render the final playing die, use the following steps to move the lamp so it lights up the three faces of the cube that the camera can see. Move your mouse pointer over the 3D view window, then press the numerical keypad's 7 key to enter top view. Press the Home key to view all objects in the scene, including the lamp. Right-click the lamp to select it. Press G to enter grab mode, which lets you move objects. Drag the lamp so it sits behind and slightly to the left or right of the camera, then left-click to complete the movement. Press the numeric keypad's 1 key to enter front view. Press G again, then drag the lamp so it's slightly higher than the camera. Press F12 to render the final playing die model. Thanks for watching.